This is WBGU FM 88.1 and HD1, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Support for WBGU comes from Aardvark Screen Printing and Embroidery, providing Bowling Green with custom embroidered apparel for faculty and staff since 1987. Open 24/7 online at aardvarkspe.com.
Every time the feeling comes, you never question why it comes to you this way. You say you never get an answer that way, but then you wonder anyway. Just you don't really think about it, and you don't really try to figure it out.
All right, it is 8:28, almost the bottom of this, what would be the first hour of my show. Technically, I guess it still is. You're listening to Mix, by the way. This is me, your host, DJ Mick, and the reason I am a bit late is for a couple of reasons. The first and biggest is that I have my major club for speech pathology called NISLA at 7 o'clock on every other Thursday. So some days it makes me late. Some days when I have it, we get done and I run on over here and I'm not late. But today it went over because it was the grad student panel night. And so everyone had a lot of questions, and that makes sense. And then there were worms that were just all over the sidewalk, and I couldn't help it. I had to start grabbing. They're so hard to pick up with your bare fingers. I really need to just... there weren't any leaves, there weren't any sticks to help me. So I abandoned the cause and I came here. So now I'm here doing the show, and we're listening to a song called Every Time the Feeling by the band Nap Eyes. I'm playing the songs that I've added just this past week into the automation system, the indie currents, the newest of the new. And we'll keep playing that kind of stuff. And we'll also probably play things from other folders in this wonderful automation system in here. And we might possibly play some CDs. But I think this episode of the show, technically we are back to me playing whatever I want. Basically, me playing stuff from my own collection, that is. Not just only stuff from the station that's been submitted to the station. But I think I like what I've been doing, which is reading old BG newspaper articles. Maybe I'll get into some of those short stories that I had mentioned a couple episodes ago. So I think I'll do some more of that kind of stuff. But I mean, hey, it's 8:30, so I'm gonna get the weather up for us. If you didn't know already, it's raining. It is still raining. It's not a hard rain. It's more of a moderate drizzle. And it's dark because it's 8:31. While this loads, I'm going to guesstimate that it's 45 degrees. We'll see if I'm right in a minute. And we'll also get into some events that are happening. And I'll tell you some of the things that I'm going to be doing this weekend, which is fun. So it's actually 50 degrees right now. It feels like 47. Okay. Friday, there's going to be a high of 34. So that's not that high. And a low of 22 tomorrow night. And then Saturday, high of 39, low of 29. So, okay. That's not that bad. Now, to some of the things that I'm going to be doing this weekend for events. I'm flying home to go to a graduate school interview. The school is Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. It's a private Catholic college. And I'm just going to say that they wanted me to come in person. I couldn't do like a Skype interview or a phone call interview or anything like that. It had to be in person because there's like a group aspect to it. I'm going to be, probably working together with some other girls in a group to try and, figure out, read a case history and say what I would do for that client or something like that. But the more I think about that, it's kind of sus to me, honestly, because what if I had the same resume, the same, credentials and grades, and I went to Bowling Green and I'm from Connecticut, but I was on like federal work study or something like that, and I couldn't just like take off for a weekend. I couldn't, if I wanted to drive, spend the whole total 18-hour drive there and back and that time and the gas money, or if I flew, all that money on a plane ticket, you know? So that just kind of, I don't know what they do to the people who can't make the in-person interview. I don't know if they just throw their application out or what, but that was kind of the more I thought about that, the more I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going now anyway. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and I'm bringing my boyfriend with me, and he's going to see my hometown and all the little, fun places that are around there, and I get to show him all that, and my house, and the chickens, and my dog, Arlo, etc. So it'll be fun. And some things that are happening a bit closer to home. We have the band The Hollywood Jets at the Red Onion, which is a small local restaurant or bar. And that's in Brunswick, Ohio. So I think that's a little ways away. But if you're looking for something to do on Saturday, this Saturday at 8, head on down there. They play like 50s style kind of music. They're very, very cool. 2 of the members of that band are in the band that I'm in, Modern Hollows. So there's that. The American Spirits, which is a local BG band, are releasing an EP. And so that show is going to be at the Summit Shack. That's 217 East Evers in Bowling Green. There's also going to be the Turbos, Lord Warfin, and the Ragoons from Columbus, who are going to be playing there. So that is Friday, February 23rd. So that's actually next Friday, if you wanted to set that on your calendar. All right. I think that's enough events for now. You're listening to the song called Your True Name by the Radio Department right now. And I think I'll let that finish us out. And then I'll come back with some fun things to read. You're listening to Mix on WBGU.
Heavy as I try to flip these feelings to words. Probably the realest, most revealing. No, I've struck on the nerve. Have I bit off more than I can chew, or is this deserved? I can feel the hate within my soul, the poison that hurts. You know me well enough that tears don't fall in drops of a hat. But this very moment, I can feel the ocean, in fact. And if I hurt this much myself, imagine what it's for you. Seeing you struggle to be equal, seeing it from your view. Now I've been living in this ignorance, naive for too long. Being selfish, thinking now that only I was being wronged. So absorbed by all the anger traveled from overseas, that I neglected that same struggle happening at my feet. Just another one among the smoke and all of the mirrors. Thought I was thinking for myself, but now confused by that clearness. Though my mind was open, little did I know it was trapped. The same tactic they've been using for centuries, still intact.
And I don't know how we can lie anymore. If you were to die tomorrow, would we cry at all? I hope never again will we fight. Least never again will my sight be blinded by all of this white light that we see. It's peace that we need, peace that we need.
My heart's heavy as I reminisce of the motherland when I went back, learning about my own roots. The black slaves they lashed. The very image of it brought up every single limit that was put upon me growing up, even in privileged systems. Remarks that being dark was somewhat of a curse, and speaking out about it, no doubt it made it worse. Even hearing recollections of my past, people's pain made me sick to my stomach to think we're still in that phase. And maybe that's the reason I put myself in your shoes, cause I can see the the same pain in your brown eyes too. And I can see acknowledgement of you is what you crave. Trying to recollect identity snatched from back in the day. Oh man, ain't it crazy that we live in the age where equality is something that's still up for debate. And people wonder why you angry but don't try to relate. And still ignore without your pain, we wouldn't be here today.
And I don't know how we can lie anymore. If you were to die tomorrow, would we cry at all? I hope never again will we fight. Least never again will my sight be blinded by all of this white light that we see. It's peace that we need, peace that we need. Keep it out, keep it in. If everybody is searching for the same shelter, why does anyone think it's theirs to know? Collective body so hungry for the touch of a stranger, magic contact. Believe you're not alone. Keep it out, keep it in. I'll keep you out, so you never see me unraveling. We seek to settle, we make a home. It's fun for a little, till it's old, and so it withers like all the rest, till we're sleeping like strangers on the opposite sides of the bed. Keep it out, keep it in. I'll keep you out, so you never see me unraveling. You want all the promises made, but I don't have the energy to suffice. Watch me while I disengage. You might even feel nice.
I'm just a poor boy. Waiting for answers. feel the cold air when the night comes. Heaven's only wish for. I can feel the cold air when the night comes. Heaven's only wish for. Some say each night I wonder. Hoping to find meaning. Life and its horrors. Oh, there's no getting out. Don't tempt these vultures. Oh, who are circling round and round. Don't be the reason. Close your eyes and see it through. Chaos comes and collects the hue. I can feel the cold air when the night comes. Heaven's only wish for. I can feel the cold air when the night comes. Heaven's only wish for. Some will say yeah, whatever. Some say you're the reason I feel this way. Some say you're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason. Some say you're the reason I feel this way. And some say you're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason. Some say you're the reason I feel this way. And
Welcome to The Left of the Dial, where you can find WBGU FM and tear down the walls with me, Drew. Every week, I'll feature music from new and up-and-coming artists, tunes from yesteryear, jams from local bands, and even a poem or two. Plus, I'll keep you up to date on album releases, tour dates, local shows, some sports, and whatever else may tickle my fancy. So stay up late, howl at the moon, and tune in for Tear Down the Walls, Thursdays, 10 to midnight, only on WBGU FM.
My son had a drinking problem at college. I had no idea things could get so much worse, so fast. A friend suggested we try Al-Anon family groups, even though our son claimed his drinking was no big deal. I didn't want to go to an Al-Anon meeting, but I'm sure glad I went. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
And we're back. You're listening to Mix here on WBGU FM. And it's 8:51. And it's probably still 50 degrees outside. And I am looking for BG newspapers. And I chose the year 1996 because there weren't very many that were from February 15th exactly. But there are some that are from like the 13th, the 14th, things like that. So I'm just scrolling through some things, and some things I don't really want to read. So I'm scrolling on past them. And it doesn't look like this one has anything. So I'm just going to tell you guys about what is happening around here, around the station. So, you may remember if you listen to my show that the past like month or so, I was only playing stuff from the, that has been submitted to the station. We're back to being able to play whatever we want now, and that's great. So I had started this project, indie cataloging project of cataloging, basically writing on all the info of all the CDs that we have in our CD vault, which is a lot. And it has been, of course, obviously way more, but we've had, CD sales or other ways that they have disappeared and or dwindled down. But I want to kind of have that to preserve like an archive, so people will be able to look up like, oh, I wonder if we have this artist, type it in, or look at the sheet and be like, oh, okay, it's in that box or whatever. And it's going really well. But some people are leaving the CDs out. This is just basically my... I'm sorry I'm telling you guys this, but it rustles my jimmies. People leave the CDs out. They don't put them back in the box. And I'm like, please do that. Please put it back in the box. Because some of the boxes have already been logged. So if you put them back in a different box, then who's going to know where they are when they look for it? It's not going to be in that box. Anyway, all right, we're going to move on. No, I don't want to. I need to keep looking. I had too many Skittles, and now my brain hurts. So we're listening to Jay's Fitted by Socrates. Enjoy this song. It's one of the new ones that was submitted, and it's very good.
This one's living on the beach. It ain't no off switch. It's always drama on in the party. Break fast like it's Ramadan. Running on like the sentence I'm spitting. Ain't no comma on. Don't reach around behind you. They itching to leave you drowning on the concrete. In the pool of your own feces. Legendary flow. I'm a legendary species. Captain of the city where I'm fitting hand in glove with you. Whoa. One to the mother six. Whoa. One to the mother six. Whoa. One to the six. Whoa. One to the boat, to the one to the boat, to the mother six. Yeah, man. Boat. One to the mother six. Still home of Caravana screaming till the name sticks. This the home of real spitters mixed in the politics. This the home of living legends, gun clappers in the mix. This the home of every nation looking for remuneration. From Somalis to Jamaicans ain't in the business of faking. When the camera's on, even the director can't take one. Hollywood North, it's a movie till the cake done. Cake outside is y'all bait. No mask, they will take your things with a straight watching my team play. This is Broadway, show respect for my screenplay. Whoa. 1, 2, 2, mother 6. Whoa. 1, 2, 2, 2, 6, 6. Whoa. 1 to the, whoa, to the, 1 to the, whoa, to the, 1 to the mother 6. Cardi, you right, cause I was born in the capital, moved to Edmonton, came to Toronto in 86. And I'ma tell it, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for Scarborough, keeping the young Amani in the mix. Oh, you needin' a fix? Go and ask the mayor. LOL, you see how a fella fell, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Trust me, I'm in beast mode, Mr. Maniac in Black Sock, Eastwood. One love reppin', so each hood eat good. Hip hop's back, Toronto where her feet stood. Whoa! 1, 2, 2, 2, mother 6. Whoa! 1, 2, 2, 2, 6, 6. Whoa! 1 to the, whoa, to the, 1 to the, whoa, to the, 1 to the.
You're listening to WBGU FM on 88.1 and HD1, Bowling Green, Ohio.
Community sponsorship for WBGU programming is brought to you by Grounds for Thought, a local coffee shop offering vintage books, vinyl, comics, and a selection of home-baked goods. Grounds for Thought, located at 174 South Main Street, Bowling Green, Ohio.
This is WBGU FM 88.1 and HD1, Bowling Green, Ohio. There are all kinds of songs that suggest Mondays suck, but things are turning around. Odds and Ends with DJ K2 every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. has a suggestive theme that will lift your spirit and offer a clever surprise. Tunes from any era may apply, as long as they fit the theme of the week. Keep Monday on a high note with DJ K2, Odds and Ends on 88.1 FM, WBGU.
Nice and calm. That's what I need right now. Being late, dead worms, CDs strewn across the studio lobby table. That's not what I need in my life right now. You're listening to Mix here on WBGU FM. And I've got, finally, a little part of an article from February 15th, 1996. Man sentenced to life in prison. A man was convicted Wednesday of mailing a pipe bomb that blew off several of his wife's fingers and injured one of her co-workers. Jurors also found Stephen Boulis guilty of sending a second bomb to his wife's office building. That one was discovered in a mail bin and detonated after his arrest. Tracy Bullis smiled as the verdict was read, then sobbed quietly, along with Judith Harrison, the coworker who was slightly injured. She had cried in court last week when she removed a glove to show her mangled hand. Bullis, 31, remained motionless. His public defender said he would likely be sentenced to life in prison plus 40 years. He also faces a possible $1.5 million fine. Life means life in federal court, attorney Michael Howell said. Prosecutors said Beulis was a cold, calculating man who was having an affair and bombed his wife July 10th after her life insurance benefits were increased. They also said he faked his tears on the witness stand when asked his reaction to seeing his wife's mangled hand for the first time. Did any of you see any real tears, or did you see an acting job? Assistant U.S. Attorney John Bennett asked the jury. I submit to you that no real tears came from that man's eyes. The defense said evidence was circumstantial and pointed to someone else. Howell also suggested that Beulis's fingerprints had been planted on the second bomb. The bomb left a crater in Mrs. Beulis's desk, shattering glass and scattering blood and bomb fragments around the 5th floor of Business Telecom Inc. in Raleigh, the long-distance telephone company where she worked. Beulis, a project manager at rival MCI Telecommunications Corp., admitted on the stand that he had been having an affair. At the time of the bombing, the couple had been married 5 years. Oh my word. It doesn't say, where does it continue? Where does the story continue? It doesn't say continued on page whatever. Oh, and now it's sports. Oh my word. Where did it go? Where does it continue? No. Where's the rest of it? Oh my word. I have to know how that story ends. All right, hold on. This is... Why doesn't it say continued on whatever page? There's more. There's another murder story. AIDS. Chemical carrying train. It's gone. There's just nothing. That's so irritating. There's literally nothing else. All right, well, sentenced to life in prison. I guess that's all we get to know. Married for 5 years, comma, nothing. You get to know nothing more. All right, thanks a lot, BG News, February 15th, 1996. We're listening to Tell Me by Joan as Policewoman. The song you heard before that was Ivy by Ruby Haunt. Very shoegazy. Let's get back to the tunes.
You got to separate now. What's real? What's not real? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you want? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you need? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you want?
Upon further reflection, I discovered that it wasn't a comma, it's a period. That was the end of the sentence.
You know I want the everlasting. So what do you say? We don't have to write an ending. You know it's only for the asking. Why don't we separate now? What's real? What's not real? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you want? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you need? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you want? Tell me, tell me, tell me. What do you need? Try taking the invitation, lay it on me. Animal communication. Stop sweet Movita, my sweet Movita, my sweet Movita.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I volunteer with United Way to help the homeless in my community learn computer skills and build a basic resume. I don't just wear this shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ryan Vallon, play-by-play voice of Bowling Green Falcon Hockey. You can catch every single hockey game this season by tuning into 88.1 FM WBGU on the TuneIn app or by going to the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization's website at bgrso.net. Don't miss a single second of the action, as I will have you covered with pregame starting 30 minutes before puck drop and postgame reaction after the final buzzer. Falcon Hockey, every game on 88.1 FM WBGU and the Falcon Radio Network.
All right, so 9:18 p.m. on this Thursday, February 15th, 2018 evening, and we're going to read from this February 14th, 1990 BG newspaper. This is titled The Apocalypse of Words, and there's kind of an alternate title, Word Up. This week marks a year since author Salman Rushdie went into hiding. With a snarl of holy hate, the now deceased Ayatollah Khomeini sentenced Rushdie to death, all for writing Satanic Verses, a book which takes a humanistic look at Islam and its prophet Muhammad. Rushdie now stands as a metaphor for the persecution of free speech, and the freedom of speech is a right which we as Americans take for granted, and at times watch passively as it is persecuted in our own country. Freedom comes with a price. In a free society, you are given the ability to voice your beliefs without fear of retribution. The price seems to be, ultimately, blood, and the need to suffer the rhetoric of fanatics and fools. America proves to offer many opportunities for both. Jesse Helms, the U.S. Senator from North Carolina, blows steam every time his warped view of the land of the free is threatened. Helms, known for his right-wing stands, makes Jerry Falwell and Ronald Reagan seem like dope-smoking hippies. His recent diatribe against the Robert Mapplethorpe exhibit shows what paranoia can do when it gets rolling. Mapplethorpe, who is an artist and is gay, recently held an exhibit in the nation's capital. Shocking insights into the religious and sexual psyche of man reflected in the exhibit proved to be too much for a country bumpkin like Helms. Old Jesse's masculinity must have rolled over in his libido. Now, mind you, the exhibit was not for the lighthearted. The exhibit depicted sadomasochistic homosexuality and profane renderings of religious icons. It goes to show that art is a very relative medium. To some, a crucifix standing in a glass of urine constitutes art. To others, a Jesse Helms rendition of Flight of the Bumblebee on tuba is art. Helms performed this feat in a music contest when he was a senior in high school. To me, and maybe I'm strange, art is neither. But they both have the inherent right to freely be expressed as art. And as does fear. It too is given equal opportunity in a free society's mass media. These expressions of fear take on many forms. One example being people with pointy-headed mentalities putting pointy-headed white sheets on and dancing around burning crosses like goblins. Or illegally pouring goat's blood on abortion clinic doors. Or stupidly sitting in front of freight trains and having their legs sliced off, all in the name of God, apple pie, and motherhood. Freedom against freedom is blowing dangerously in the wind. Oliver North sent me a letter the other day. He was telling me about this foundation of freedom that wanted him to become its leader. He was sweating bullets trying to decide whether he should accept the offer. The foundation, he claimed, wanted to counter the left-wing dominated press that was ripping away the very moral fiber of our country. He said if I sent him $25, it would make his decision easier. Now that's $25 worth of good, cold malt liquor. So instead, I decided to respond in a manner that celebrates my guaranteed First Amendment right to free speech. I noticed that if I drew a turban on his head and a scraggly white beard on his face, he looked a lot like the Ayatollah Khomeini, the dark, penetrating eyes, full of revolutionary zeal. So I put pen to paper. I beheld an angel standing on a mountain above a sea of fire, and the angel poured blood into the sea, causing it to boil. The moon turned red, and the stars fell from the sky. A multitude of people were on their knees, gnashing their teeth and wailing. And the angel sounded a trumpet of the Lord. Suddenly, 4 horsemen appeared like firmaments in the sky. Over the right shoulder of the angel galloped Morton Downey Jr. and Jesse Helms, like the Lone Ranger and Tonto. On the left loped Howard Cosell and Sam Kinison, much like Don Quixote and Sancho Panza. The multitudes wailed and clamped their ears at the appearance of the 4 horsemen. The showdown of Big Mouth was about to begin. And all 3 major broadcast networks were present, even though movie rights to Armageddon had already been sold. The Book of Revelations, according to Ollie, film at 11. That was written by Chuck Travis, a columnist for the news who is going to join Salman Rushdie in hiding. That was an interesting little piece. That was from when my mom was attending BG. I think this would have been her junior year, 1990, because she graduated in, she can't remember, either December 90 or January 1991. Maybe I'll try and find another one of those. But that one was pretty fun. Actually, I have one from 1983 pulled up and ready to go. Maybe we'll do it after weather events at the bottom of the hour. But for now, you're listening to Wishbone by Chemtrails from their album Calf of the Sacred Cow here on Mix Mix on WBGU FM.
There is a secret hidden, no truth laid out.
It is puzzling me, my random self-defeating. I can't think straight. Lost in debris when I started to hide. Somewhere deep inside, I'm lured in a trap. No mind to recap. Words keep bleeding, and I keep heeding what you say. It's killing me. There is a secret beating, I fade away into retreats. These thoughts we keep repeating until the day I stop the self-deceit. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And you're listening to WBGU.
Programming for WBGU is brought to you by Aardvark Screen Printing and Embroidery in downtown Bowling Green, providing custom apparel like bar crawl t-shirts and long sleeve tees, plus novelty items like koozies, stickers, wristbands, and party favors for student orgs, businesses, and families. Always open at aardvarkspe.com.
It's 9:30 on the dot on this Thursday evening, and you're listening to Mix Mix. Tonight, there's a low of 30 degrees, and tomorrow, Friday, there's a high of 34 and a low of 22. And then on Saturday, high of 39, a little bit warmer, low of 29. So a bit warmer on Saturday, so Okay, sure, whatever, fine. And so today is the 15th, so that is done. Ooh, yes. On the 16th, which is tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow and Saturday, the Black Swamp Players present The Secret Garden, the musical version of the classic of children's literature. When Mary discovers her Aunt Lily's hidden garden, locked shut and overgrown with vines, stubborn Mary is determined to revive the beauty that once was. That story, like, even just reading that sentence just like put me in another place, because I had both the book and the audiobook, and it was really the audiobook that made it. Like I could still hear the sound effects of like the crickets or whatever those buzzing insects are as she like digs in the dirt, and then her aunt comes out and's like, "What are you doing?" and things like that. So that's pretty cool. It's $15 for adults and $15 for adults and $12 for students or seniors. And it's happening at the First United Methodist Church at 8 p.m. both tomorrow and Saturday. So there's that thing that is cool that is happening. And then on the 18th, which is Sunday, there's the 7th annual David D. Dubois piano competition, the final round. This is for high school pianists. And it's the final round for that, and it starts at 8:30 a.m. and it's in Kobacker Hall in the music building on BG's campus. All right, so I found this other little short article. This from the BG News, February 15th, 1983. And this headline is called "Angry Men Tell E.T. to Go Home." E.T., the leathery little movie star, should get lost in space for good, say two men who are sick and tired of seeing his face on everything from snack trays to underwear. Ron Deutsch, 23, and his partner Tom Clement, 26, decided to manufacture "I Hate E.T." t-shirts to protest the hoopla surrounding the extraterrestrial star of Universal's hit movie. "I don't know how any kid could love E.T., Deutsch said Wednesday. "He's scaly and an ugly creature. If I were a kid, I would have nightmares over him rather than sweet dreams." He and Clement advertised the t-shirts last December in Rolling Stone magazine. They received more than 200 orders before Universal Studios heard about the shirts. Universal sent a telegram warning that selling the t-shirts would be unfair competition and infringement of the studio's copyright. "They already got $300 million in profits on it, and we are engaging in unfair competition," Deutsch said sarcastically. Universal's reaction is like the country of Belgium attacking Russia. But Clement and Deutsch said they agreed to return the $6 each customer had paid for a t-shirt. The shirts had the ET symbol of the creature's glowing finger extended. The responding finger of a little boy was turned around in an obvious gesture of digital disdain, Deutsch said. "We first got the idea at the end of November, which was just about the time the ET hype started to climax," he said. "We were discussing ways to publicly vent our frustration. One way to be speaking out was wearing a t-shirt. It beats carrying a sign." I just thought that was kind of cute. I wonder if there are any of those original shirts left around. Like if anybody paid for them, got them, and then kept them, didn't return it. I wonder. I'll have to check eBay for that. Anyway, right now you're listening to a song called "On a Night Like This" by Pink Flamingo Rhythm Review, another one of the indie currents added very recently to this station. So let's take a listen to that. You're listening to Mix Mix.
And so I say, take my hand, make a wish, understand, heaven does exist. We will buy a diamond kiss, touch the sky. realistic make-believe. With you, with you, with you, with you, with you, with you, with wanna live my fantasy. With you, with you, with you, with you. Realistic make-believe. With you, with you, with you, with you, with you, with you.
Every time the phone rings, I see you lighting up. Turn on the give up. The feeling is alright. The feeling is alright. I can stay up all night, just you and me. You keep me up on things. Every time the phone rings, I can see you lighting up. I know tonight we get broke up. The feeling is alright. The feeling is alright. I could stay up all night, just you and me. Dead, and who am I if not for them? All of my heroes are dead, and they don't know that I'm aware. All of my heroes are dust, marching in a line off the rocky bluff. For years I've followed behind, but now, baby, I would rather stay alive.
down, so I won't give up. All my heroes are press, I should maybe replace, at least repair. All my heroes are dead. Sound the bells, hold your lanterns up. All my heroes are dead. Now this endless night, we're lost to us.
Hey, this is Adrian Glynn calling from Vancouver, Canada, and you and your ears are listening to the hippest underground station around, 88.1 out of Bowling Green, Ohio.
My name is Meera Batra, and this is How I Live United. Many families have come to America for a better life. I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to see opportunities available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools and network within the community. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunity and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Frank Black and Jim Barnes with Dead Air Paranormal Talk Radio.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Are you a witch?
Have you ever spotted Bigfoot or been chased by a werewolf?
Encountered a UFO or been abducted by an alien?
We really want to hear from you.
Email your story to deadair@wbgufm.com.
Remember,
you're not alone. Talk with old friends like I need to. We look up, feel tired, just smile. 'Cause it's loud.
All right, it's 9:46, last 15 minutes of my show. I understand that there's hockey on at 10:30, so I could go later if I wanted to, but I do not. I'm going to end my show at the regular 10 o'clock time. So, we have been listening to lovely indie currents. we have heard, let's see, well, right now we're listening to Pedal by Howdy, but it's spelled H-O-V-V, W. Wait, what? Wait, no, sorry, I did that wrong. H-O-V-V-D-Y. We listened to Breathing Techniques by Good Sign. That was a short one. We listened to All My Heroes, which is the weird one, by Cecil Freena. The Feeling Is All Right by Ricky Hell and the Void Boys, which is a spoof on Richard Hell and the something, I forget what it is, etc. So I have one more article, and I really had to share this one with you guys. This is from February 16, 2009. My heyday. That was the time of my life. Let me tell you what. The Facebook memories that I get from that era are just really incredible. So, this is entitled Peanut Industry Suffering, and I'm going to read it to you. With hundreds of thousands of Americans out of work and the economy in a nosedive, the U.S. peanut industry expected sales to soar this year. Americans tend to turn to peanut products to stretch their food dollars in tough times, avoiding more expensive protein sources such as steak and ground beef. Enter an ongoing salmonella outbreak that has sickened some 600 people in 43 states and been linked to 9 deaths. And those rosy predictions after a record-growing season have been dashed. They've tainted our entire industry, says Shelley Nutt, executive director of the Peanut Producers Board in Texas, the nation's second largest growing state behind Georgia. Public perception is killing us. More than 2,000 products have been recalled, one of the largest in U.S. history. And the damage was done by a small player in the industry, Virginia-based Peanut Corp of America. 2 of the company's plants in Blakely, Georgia, and in Plainview, Texas, have been shuttered after salmonella contamination was found. The company, which is filed for bankruptcy, handles no more than 2.5% of all peanuts processed, yet sales of jarred peanut butter plummeted 22% nationwide for the 4 weeks ending January 24th compared with the same period last year, Nutt said. February's numbers will likely worsen significantly, she said. The devastating news came after peanut growers nationwide last year produced a record crop, 2.6 million tons. So many peanuts created a surplus, leading some producers to consider not planting them this year. Poor peanuts. Alright, that's all I think. I'll come back and say goodbye. Right now you're listening to The Fawn of Teal Deer, which is a very cute little song.
Stand clear, hail the fawn of teal deer. Stand clear, hail the fawn of teal deer. Stand clear, hail the fawn of teal deer. She's the queen around here. The arbiter of innocence, he tends to speak in absolutes. And on a holding court on modern taste rests a case on just one view.
can always count on me. Oh, doesn't matter if it's big or small. Together there's no problem we can't solve. Oh, 'cause I'll be there for you, and you'll be there for me. We'll make it through the thick and thin, no matter what comes around the bend. We're gonna be alright, like we've always been. Couldn't ask for a better friend.
Alrighty, everybody. It's about that time for my show to be no more. But I will see you all next Thursday, I believe. Yes, from 8 to 10. That's not March 1st. No, February 22nd. And I'll have some more. I'll probably play some more indie current stuff. I may get into some local stuff because there's a bunch of stuff that was just recently added. So I'll probably play a lot of that stuff. And this song is called Couldn't Ask for a Better Friend by Michael Logan. And you may recognize this song if you watch TV during the Olympics because it was used in that Folgers coffee commercial. And I always thought it was pronounced Folgers. I don't really like the soft G, but that's just me. So stay tuned for hockey. And Mix will be back Thursday to 10 of next week. Bye-bye.